Oh. Hey everybody. Alright, so it's Lord Jackal here for a kind of emergency Smashtalk. Not emergency, like nothing's. There's no danger, basically. I just got back from work and I've been thinking about it all day. We had those characters revealed. And as I'm sure most of you watching this know, we basically saw that the roster that we got in the leak a couple weeks back, the ESRB leak, or Nintendo of America leak, or whatever you're going to call it, is the final roster, at least for that version of the game. A lot of people are disappointed, for fairly good reason, seeing as how it's not many characters. It's not many, there's a lot of characters missing from franchises, a lot of franchises that aren't represented correctly, and basically what I wanted to say, like the big point of this is, I think there are three possibilities. One, this is the final roster and Sakurai's kind of screwed up and has stirred a lot of bad faith in a lot of the fans in the community. Two, there's going to be paid DLC, where like later on you buy characters and they get added to the roster. And three, there's a possibility that there is character transference or otherwise characters that are going to come from the Wii U version that will then be on the 3DS. I think I can say without a doubt that it is one of the last two. Here's why. The padlock in All-Star mode. I don't know if anybody's thought of this yet. Like I said, I've been at work all day. I just got back like a little bit ago and talked to some of my LiveFest guys. We talked it over a bit and I presented it to him. I was like, is this like a thing? And basically, we've kind of come to this conclusion. Why does All-Star mode work the way that it does? Before, we thought that the reason that you started with All-Star mode and with like the padlock that said you didn't have all the characters was because you would unlock somebody through All-Star mode. But that's apparently not the case. All those characters were unlocked through Classic, and that was all the characters, and the padlock was lifted. So, what was the point? What was the point of having All-Star mode there and having the padlock, and why is the padlock still there when it's open? Because more characters will be added, and the padlock will close again. When the padlock closes again, that means that there's more characters to get by some of these means. I don't think by DLC, but I'll get to that later. In my mind, this irrevocably shows that there are more characters coming, because otherwise there is literally no reason for there to be a padlock. Did you really need to have All-Star mode there with a padlock on it to tell you that you had to unlock more characters? Because there weren't many to unlock, you unlocked them pretty quickly, and you knew when you had all the characters. You didn't need All-Star mode to tell you that. But by having the padlock there, when there was another character available through either of those means, it could tell you when. I think that's it. I honestly think that that's it. I think it's definitely worth looking into. Anyways, so now my thoughts on DLC and the transference thing. Basically a rumor is out saying that, coming from the supposed ESRB leaker from before, saying that there are 4 characters that are going to be available on the Wii U version that you then transfer over. Those characters are Dixie, a Mewtwo, Ridley, and Ice Climbers. Yes? Is that what the characters are? I can't remember. Point is, I'm really tired. Okay, I'm going to look it up actually really quick. Who the characters are really doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about is, what I'm talking about is the idea of character transference. And also possible DLC. Okay, where's the... Okay, so the point is, if it is character transference... I'm sorry, I'm talking so quiet too. It's late here, it's like 1 in the morning. Just got back from work. If it's character transference, and if having both versions of the game lets you actually get the full roster, which is something people have said before, then that would mean that you would have to have both versions of the game in order to have the full roster. That some Wii would have characters exclusive, 3DS would have characters exclusive, but then you could transfer them over. I don't think Sakurai is going to go that route. The reason is there is a significant difference between rewarding the player for having both versions and punishing them for not having both versions. And punishing the gamer is generally a bad business practice and usually stirs up some bad blood. I wonder why. As far as paid DLC goes, I'm not sure if having paid DLC fits in with the padlock idea. Because then it would basically mean that in order to have the complete all-star mode, you would have to pay for it, you know? And to me that just seems like a nickel and diming thing. And I mean, there's a possibility it's being done, but I feel like it's outside of Nintendo's wheelhouse, and generally Sakurai's wheelhouse, to do something like that. It just seems out of character. Still a possibility. My personal opinion about what's going to happen is I think that in an effort to keep hype going, I think the padlock is only going to be on the 3DS version. I guess when we see the Wii U version we'll know for sure. But I think the padlock will only be on the 3DS version. And I think that in order to keep hype going, because a lot of people have been saying, like, we've got 2 months in between. We've got 2 months in between the 3DS and Wii U's release. Like, what are you going to do to get people excited for the Wii U version? I think Sakurai has some characters that aren't going to be shown. I think he's going to be showing some characters leading up to the Wii U version. He'll reveal them, and they'll be available on the 3DS version. Like via Spot Pass or something, you can download them. So far, nobody's found anything in the coding. I just want to say, if somebody found, like, characters in the coding that they couldn't unlock yet, that would be definite proof that something's going on, but as far as I can tell, nobody's found that yet. But, yes, if Sakurai... What am I saying? It is way too late to be doing this, but I gotta go back to work tomorrow, so I need to do this now while I can. You don't need to know that, but okay. This is the least coherent I have ever been. Okay. Yes. Okay. If that's the case, then that would mean that the padlock would expire after the Wii U comes out, basically. Well, not expire, but like, there wouldn't be new characters after that. Which, I will admit, is like a flaw in that plan. I think that maybe there will be some more free DLC released. And there is the potential for paid DLC. Basically. That's just basically my take, is I think that he's actually going to reveal some more characters. Reason being that, honestly, on a fairly objective level, this is potentially the worst roster in a while. A lot of people are saying that, and I do think that there is like a couple really weird choices when it comes to shunning certain series and overrepresenting some other series that really make me feel. And also the way that Sakurai talks. Sakurai also said that they put in more characters than he expected, and like he talked like things were going so well, but then to have less characters than we expected, and for some of those characters to be clones, it's kind of like, it just feels weird. So I really do think that we haven't seen the real full roster, but we have seen the starting final roster for the 3DS. Who would that include? I think there should be another Zelda rep in there at some point. It's odd that Zelda has seen no newcomers. I think Ridley would be very hypeable. If Ridley is in the game, it makes a lot of sense that he would be one of the characters they do this with, because if he got announced right before the Wii U version comes out, there we go. A Donkey Kong character, possibly. Another thing that somebody suggested, I think it was Gordon, yeah, Sam Oxnard, or Smash, whatever you know him by. He's one of my good friends from Lagfest. He suggested that perhaps Ice Climbers and Wolf and Lucas and Snake were actually on the Wii U version and would be unlocked on the 3DS version after. Once again, I do think it is a bad idea, and I don't think it's something Sakurai would do to have them, for you to have to get the Wii U version to have those characters in the 3DS version. they were revealed and then those characters were released in the 3DS version, who knows? There's also some space in the 3DS roster. There is space on that screen to put more characters. So that's another thing. I'm not the most coherent. I've really got to go to sleep. I'm putting this out while I can because after this I'm basically going to disappear for the weekend at my job. But I wanted to say this now. I think the padlock is proof that we have more characters coming because otherwise it has no reason to exist. I think it will lock when a new character is available. I don't know the circumstances of that yet because I'm still spitballing this, but I'm still trying to figure out from a designer standpoint why that would be there. Because it's not like unlocking the characters was difficult. I mean, 3 of the worst smashers I've ever seen have managed, with no idea what the unlocks even were, managed to get through it in about 12 hours. So it's not that difficult to unlock them. So that's clearly not why the padlocks are there. And the only reason that All-Star Mode, the only reason that you would start with All-Star Mode, because if All-Star Mode was only unlocked with a full roster, that would mean that as soon as a new character was available, it would be locked again, and you couldn't play it. And I think that's why All-Star was playable without the full roster. Because otherwise it wouldn't make sense when a new character is released. So I think it is proof that we have more characters coming. Not proof so much as incredible evidence. I think it's very, very strong evidence. But ultimately, let's see these streams tomorrow. Let's see if Sakurai says anything about it. And wouldn't it be funny if he actually debunked this whole thing at the streams that were planned for the day before the game comes out, and we only got this upset about the roster? If the entire Smash community got this upset about the roster because the game's released early and they unlocked early, and they wouldn't have been upset if they hadn't broken street date. That would be hilarious. And yeah. So here's hoping. That's just my general ideas. So go ahead, comment below. I'll try to respond whenever I can. And yeah. Let's discuss this. It's fun. Speculation is fun. This is actually the most excited I've been to speculate in a long time. Alright, so this is going on too long already. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'll try to respond. Just have a discussion. Please don't insult each other. Please don't flame each other for characters that they want or don't want. Discuss civilly, please. I would love that. You're all beautiful. Please be beautiful. I know you're beautiful. And I'm going to go to bed.